I want to tell you how listening to 10 minutes of David Goggins transformed my life completely. Down on myself and in despair to breaking through my own barriers and achieving my goals. And now, why it wasn't easy, I was amazed at how simple it turned out to be. And it is something I firmly believe that you can also do. So I wanted to share with you my experiences in hopes that you can also have the same kind of breakthroughs. So let's get started.
Perfect.
For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Blue Hair Dave. I run a very successful business out of my house as an entrepreneur. I've won awards and I'm considered an expert in my field, but it wasn't always like this. And the good times don't always keep on rolling, even when you've reached the top of the hill, or so you thought. Men and women at every level of success face challenges and breakdowns, no matter how high or low you are. This is life. It's part of the journey. Let me share mine with you and explain how David Goggins changed my life. Before I learned my trade of internet marketing, I was a regular guy. I still am. I was broke for most of my adult life, really. The transformation I'm about to share is how a regular guy could have breakthroughs and change what's happening in their life and their circumstances. You can still excel and blow past your former self to become something greater than you were before, and greater than you even thought possible. Like many people, I just couldn't get anything to work. Personal life, business life, everything seemed to go sour on me. Everything seemed impossible. I felt like I was a failure. Then one day I decided to change my life. I simply decided I wanted a house, I wanted to travel, I wanted to be wealthy. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I set out on making that happen. I just decided that's what I wanted. And you know what? I did exactly that. But that's a story for another time. You can subscribe to my channel and find some of these stories in my other videos. But this is how Goggins changed my life. After my successes, I started to get soft. I forgot what it was like to be in a tight spot, the nausea, the sickness, the knot in the pit of your stomach when you realize you might not be able to make the bills. I became weak in the mind, weak in the body, and I was ashamed. My income was dropping and I had a lot of bills. The thing that nobody tells you when you make a lot of money and become wealthy is that you spend a lot more money. And my bills were astronomical. This put me in a tailspin. I was eating everything in sight and drinking more than usual. My business game had suffered greatly. Does any of this sound familiar? I was afraid I was going to lose it all. And I was heading that way for sure. Then I heard a 10-minute speech by David Goggins, and it totally changed my life. I took that speech, what I learned from it, and decided to apply it to my life. Here are the results. Number one, most people give up when we're about 40% of our maximum effort. Goggins calls this the 40% rule. There's always going to be challenges that tempt us to give up when we think we just can't do anymore. But all of us as humans are able to tap into the extra 60% that we have in reserve. This is what makes people great athletes, or great warriors, or great business people. To me, this meant I needed to do more. I couldn't keep resting on my laurels or my previous accomplishments. This fits anyone. Even if you think you haven't done much with your life at all, you have a lifestyle that's the cause of it. We all do. You might think that putting in an extra 2 hours a night seems like a lot of work to make your side hustle happen. Hey, it might be enough. Way down the road later, after all the hours add up. But what if you focused rock solid on your side hustle to the point where it became your full-time job? Because you made more money doing that than it. It was something that you enjoyed, something that gave you the sense of accomplishment. What if? So that's what I did. I looked at what I was doing wrong, what I wasn't doing enough of. Was I putting in the full effort? What was I spending my time on? Was what I doing feeding my family? No? Then get rid of it. I needed to work more on what was putting the roof over our heads, instead of wasting time on things that maybe I had little control over, like arguing online, politics. It's just a huge drain of your resources. So I decided to focus on what I had control over and what I needed to do more of. And you know what? It worked. It worked really well. I saw my profits jump up and keep going. This did make me realize that I was kind of screwing up point number 2 I'm about to make. As Goggins said, there is always more to be done. I was thinking that just doing the bare minimum was going to get it all done, but it doesn't. It never does. It just makes you eventually fade into the background and you disappear. And by disappear, I mean go broke and lose your dreams. But the good news is you can fix this. I focused on going the extra 40% and working on what works. And I reaped the benefits watching my business thrive. And that money seeded other projects that I wanted to explore, other dreams I had, other ways to make more money to provide better for my family. But of course, life does get in the way. It has a funny way of doing that all the time. Business plans are going to go to hell, and they're going to leave you wondering, what did I do wrong? What went wrong, and why me? Could I have worked harder? Probably. The answer to that is almost always yes, no matter how hard you work. Even if you run that 100-mile race, maybe you could have run 120. That works in your regular business day as well. I know I nearly still don't put enough effort in, but if I keep adding more effort, I'll keep accomplishing more. That's a fact. But here's the thing I learned from hearing this Goggins speech. Life happens to everyone. And this is point number 3. The most important conversations are the ones you need to have with yourself. When obstacles get in your way, challenge them with one question. What if? If life goes wrong like it does to all of us eventually, you need to face it head on. And you tell it to take its best shot at it. You can run it high, but the problems only get worse if you do that. Or you can face it head on and take it down. This choice seems pretty obvious, but most of us tend to do the run and hide version, and we like to feel sorry for ourselves. Why me? Poor me. Why can't anything go right? Does this sound familiar? This is just easier for us mentally, or so we think, because it spreads the blame away from us in our own minds. But we need to realize we are responsible for how we react to situations. This is particularly important during crisis. How do you react? What are you going to do? Facing crisis head on can actually reduce your anxiety. It's the opposite of what you think is going to happen. You need to face your fears and find a solution for them. It's entirely possible the fear you're having in the first place was your problem. Once I made the decision to face my problems head on, my life did a complete 180. I decided to take accountability. This happened when I was a young adult and a middle-aged adult, and any time in my life when I needed a rebirth of myself. I just had to take accountability, and once I did, everything changed for the better. Which leads me to number 4, the cookie jar. This is where Goggins suggests writing down all of your life obstacles, including minor failures that turned you into successes. He calls these cookies. You need to remember what it feels like to overcome these struggles. What happened when you overcame a struggle. Remember those opponents, those problems, and remember the win, the cookie that goes in the jar. And then you get to work. You need to take account of what and where you went wrong, but at the same time, take credit for what you did right. It's very important. That power that you get from overcoming something, however small it might be, and you use that power. It's really some kind of superpower to be able to overcome these obstacles and the feeling that you get afterwards. We tend to dwell on how screwed we are when things get tough. We tend to fall into the victim mode. We somehow almost like to taste the pain a little more. Like if you get injured and your finger hurts, and once in a while, you'll squeeze it to feel the pain. It's a weird thing that sometimes people do. And we do this with failures and when we lose something or we're having an obstacle. But in order to move on and move forward, we need to remember the times we accomplished something. That feeling of victory, the feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of how things can go right instead of how they can go wrong. The doubt that we tell ourselves, what if I try this new business venture and things go terribly wrong? That's called doubt, and it will sabotage all of your dreams. That's if you let it. So instead, think about, why not me? Why not? Why can't I accomplish that? I've done these things. Why can't I place that and do that here? You think to yourself, I've done it before, I can do it again. Using all these techniques, I was able to do another 180 in my life. And I'm human, I slip up, we all do. But the trick is to get right back up. Brush yourself off and go back out there. That's what David Goggins taught me, the 10 minutes that changed my life forever. How about you? Do you have any stories like this? Comment, like, subscribe below, and talk about something that maybe happened to you where you were able to turn your life around, or maybe some challenges that you're currently having where you're having trouble turning your life around. Comment below, and I try to get to most of my comments. I'll try to get just about all of them if I can. And I'll be seeing you in my next videos. I hope this video helped. Seeing how just a regular person who has the same challenges as everybody else is able to overcome them. Hit obstacle, overcome them. Maybe I won't always do it, but I've found that when I believe I can do it, I've got the best chance of overcoming any obstacle in my way, and I hope that you can too. Blue Hair Dave with his home pandemic haircut, signing out.